All right, then, Mr. Goins, you based your request for a PPO based on you describe it as cyber stalking. I take that that's a violation of Michigan cyber stalking statute. In that he posted messages about you as well as photographs of you that you believe are from your criminal case, discussion of the case, and caused you to fear for your life. Why don't you describe the dates and times of those messages you're talking about?
Um, also just criminal stalking as well.
I'm not here to evaluate criminal stalking. It is the same language under the statute.
Okay,
So,
long as we're on the same page, Your Honor.
yeah, I understand what you're claiming.
So, uh, go back to January 29th, 2026. Petitioner followed me to the local library. When I came out of the library, he was there. We locked eyes in contact, so I can verify that it was him. And then later that night, he posted.
Let me just pause you. When you say he followed you, you mean in his vehicle or on foot?
Yes, Your Honor.
Which way? Walking, or was he in his car, or was he on his foot?
We were both. So I was leaving the library, and he was coming by the library, looking right there at us.
Walking or driving?
Driving, Your Honor.
Okay, so he was driving his vehicle and followed you and your girlfriend in the vehicle?
I don't have a girlfriend, Your Honor.
Okay, who else was in the vehicle with you?
It was a friend.
And who was that?
It was a tenant or a landlord of mine, Angela Taylor.
Okay, all right. So you and Miss Taylor, you're leaving the library, and he followed you. Who was driving the vehicle that you're in, Mr. Goins?
I was driving, sir.
You're driving. Okay.
Yep.
And I mean, I guess he's following you. How far does he follow you for?
Well, the thing is, Your Honor, it's regardless of the follow part, it's the fact that he posted it on social media stating that criminal sex offenders shouldn't be allowed to go to the library.
Okay.
So, I mean, again, he's putting it on there that, showing that he's even following me as well. He's come out to the home as well. And
did he say your specific name in this social media post, or did he just post his opinion that sex offenders shouldn't be allowed to the library?
Well, he's already put that out there, Your Honor, when he's posting my name and information already on social media. He's already put that information out there. So therefore, to be harassment doesn't need to put my name on there. Especially
the definition of harassment under the electronic statute is if he posts something that he knows is someone else is going to transmit to you because they saw it on social media now, or something that is, I mean, when you say he posts it, you mean he posts it on where? His Facebook page or something?
On social media, yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And when he posts that, is it in the form of a message that goes to you, or is it just a public post where he's just offering his opinion?
It's not Your Honor, it's not about opinion.
Well, that's what you're saying.
No, anything that he posts about me like that, regardless of whether it comes to me, is still harassment. Under the statutory, it's still harassment.
Well, if it's not aimed to you, don't you have to go to his Facebook page to even see it in the first place?
His friends are sending it to us. The people are sending it to us, harassing us as well. He's got people coming out here stalking us.
Well, who are those people?
Again, his friends.
Well, how do you know they're his friends, and how do you identify them as his friends?
So we got, what do you mean? How do I identify?
Well, I mean, do they?
Because they're commenting. Because when they send them, they're commenting on his Facebook post in regards to it.
Okay, so these are people online that comment on Mr. Colby's Facebook post, but I mean, are they forwarding it to you or?
Yes, Your Honor. Then they forward it to me as well.
And I mean, when they forward it to you, they tag you on it. Is that how they do it?
I'm not really big into all that stuff. I just know that we get the messages. They're,
When you say we, I mean, you mean,
I mean, they sent it to me and they sent it to Miss Taylor as well.
okay. And so you're saying, though, in some of the cases, the messages from them appear on your Facebook account.
Correct.
And what do those messages say?
Exactly what I showed you, what he's posting.
I mean, he's
He's
forwarding your record and registration information as a sex offender.
so I get that that's not, he could post that picture, but then when he continues to keep harassing me about it and putting things on there that's not true. I got a criminal record in Texas. That's not true. I don't have a criminal record in Texas at all, period. Never been accused of such thing like that. Okay. That again, that's harassment.
Did you attach a copy of the post where he says criminal record in Texas?
What's that?
Did you attach a copy of the post where he says that you have a criminal record in Texas?
I don't have it on. I don't have it here in front of me, Your Honor.
Did you attach it?
I want to say I did, but I'm not. I'm not 100% certain.
And I'm not pulling up the filing right now because I'm having a little bit of an issue with my.
All right, guys. Today we're stepping inside a courtroom hearing that quickly turns tense as a man accuses another of cyberstalking, online harassment, and following him in public. What starts as a discussion about Facebook posts suddenly shifts into claims about criminal records, fear, stalking, and personal attacks. The judge immediately begins questioning the evidence, trying to separate actual threats from online opinions, while both sides slowly reveal a much deeper conflict hiding underneath the surface.
Online case filing here. But you think what he said in there to just what do you recall him saying?
He's posted it. He's posted on there that I'm a cousin raper. That I got a felony in Texas as well. He's posting about my fifth wheel, saying I stole a fifth wheel as well to people, which is not true. That was decided in Kent County and dismissed in Kent County. Again, he's posting things that's not true about me. That's inflammatory.
I mean, all these things, are they getting forwarded to you?
Yes, sir.
Mr.
Yes,
Goins, okay, so you're saying not only is he posting it on his page, which you would have to go and look for and access, but you're getting copies of what he's posting because people who you think are his friends are forwarding them on directly to you in order, make sure you see it, in other words.
Correct.
Who are the friends you're referring to?
At this time, I don't have their names.
How do you know that they are friends or doing it at the direction of Mr. Colby and not just, other people out there, just do it on their own choice?
Again, Your Honor, any post that a person is posting on their own social media is still considered harassment.
Well,
it's not bound by the First Amendment of freedom of speech, Your Honor.
Well, my understanding of the statute is a little different in that if it's going to be found to be harassing but doesn't necessarily mention you by name in there, and do they mention you by name?
He's established that. He's established many, many times of who he's speaking about.
And then I guess the second piece of it is
my address. He's posted the stuff for 2.5 years. He's even posted it on post out in Sand Lake, Cedar Springs. He's posted my information throughout town. He's been talking about how I worked at Kelly's food service and stuff. So he's already given that information that he doesn't have to continue to keep saying it. And that's under the 750.411H. And there's case law based on that.
Right. Well, my read of that statute is that where it becomes a message that is something that can be actionable under the statute is, and it can be. I'm not saying that a post out there just on your own Facebook page can't be. Obviously, you can post threats, directed and say, "I'm going to go kill so and so on such and so a date," and that's improper. And arguably you're posting that so that the other person can become aware of it. And that's really the key piece of it in my mind is when Mr. Colby posts it, but if he doesn't himself, message it directly to you, then, he has to know that someone else is going to message it directly to you. So he's trying to work around, in other words, the statutory language, because my view of a post in general is, well, Facebook is out there. We have our own personal Facebook pages. We post stuff on it, but it's anyone else's choice whether or not they look at that. In other words, you don't have to go look at Mr. Colby's page, or anyone else's page for that matter. No one has to be on Facebook. When it becomes intrusive is, when people forward on or send messages intentionally aimed at an individual. And you're saying that's happening here, not so much directly from Mr. Colby, but through his friends.
I mean, when I get it and I go and I do check it and verify it and it's there, yeah.
Well, you mean when you go check and verify it, you mean you go verify it on his Facebook page?
Absolutely.
Yeah, to see that's where it originated. Okay.
He's still posting it.
Yeah, I think I understand. Right. Well, he's posting it, but again,
it's illegal and it's harassment towards me.
Well, I'm not certain that I agree with you on all those counts, but
the definition of stalking is a pattern of two or more separate non-continuous acts that show a continuously purpose intended to cause or actually causing a reasonable person to feel terrified, threatened, or harassed, or intimidated.
I agree with you
Social media post where respondent has posted comments about how many packages I'm getting at my doorstep by Amazon, all that stuff.
And you share the house with Miss Taylor?
Absolutely. I rent from her.
Okay. Well, I do know that,
I rent.
Yeah. I mean, some of that stuff is directed at her as well. How do you determine what's going to you and what's going to Miss Taylor?
It doesn't matter. It's still coming from him, Your Honor. So
well, it is, but if it's aimed at Miss Taylor, then...
But again,
I get it. And you're saying, well, I'm living at the same house. If he's threatening the house, I live there, it doesn't really matter which one of us. So I think I understand what you're...
It's harassment. Right?
All right. Well, I think I understand your argument. I'm not sure I agree with you 100%, but let me hear from Mr. Colby. Let me take some testimony. Mr. Colby, if you would unmute, and I'm going to swear you in. Testimony today will be the truth and nothing but the truth.
Absolutely.
Very good. And Mr. Colby, you understand what Mr. Goins is saying here is that you're posting messages that are either aimed directly at him or that you intend to have someone else forward onto him and thereby constitute electronic harassment under the cyberstalking statute. What's your response?
Well, first of all, none of that's actually happening at all. And for two, he just admitted that he says he has a Facebook account, which sex offenders are not allowed to be on Facebook.
The hearing now becomes far more intense. As the petitioner claims, the online posts contain false accusations, including serious allegations tied to crimes in Texas and stolen property disputes. But the judge keeps pressing for proof, asking whether the posts were directly sent or simply made publicly online. Then the other side finally speaks, completely denying the harassment claims while revealing a messy property battle, relationship, drama, and accusations that dramatically change the tone of the entire courtroom.
At all, period.
I mean, I don't know
it's the rule of Facebook, Your Honor, for one. And for three, he says he rents from his friend, Angela Taylor. That is his 100% girlfriend. And the house that he's in, I own with Angela. And we are in the midst of a court battle in Montcalm County Court. And I do not have a rental agreement with this man at all, which Michigan law says both people on the deed, which I am on the deed and the mortgage of that house.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I can't get in the middle of that thing because that's a part and parcel of divorce proceedings that are ongoing up there. The property aspect of it is.
Yeah, but Your Honor, I do not stalk him, and he thinks it's his house, and they just trying to keep this whole thing going that they're tenants, but they're not, because his son also lives there, and him and her tell each other they love each other, and they sleep in the same bed together. I caught them in bed, and the fifth wheel camper he's talking about was stolen and still is considered stolen through the state of Michigan. He's never had a title to it, and it was on my property when it disappeared when I found out it was stolen.
Yeah, I got it. And I do remember some of the posts were about the fifth wheel, et cetera. I guess what I'm more concerned about is,
And as far as me stalking him at the library, Your Honor, I don't stalk anybody. I've never chased him around. This man assaulted me and beat me so bad I had to have a 5-hour facial reconstruction surgery, Your Honor.
was there a criminal case that stemmed out of that?
Yes, there was, and for some reason the charges got dropped, but the prosecuting attorney in Macomb County got fired over a bunch of stuff for not doing his job.
Okay, how long
He's
ago?
assaulted me 2 times, actually, Your Honor. I can show you pictures if you'd like to see them.
No, I don't have to, but how long ago did it occur?
That was in late 2023 when he supposedly signed a rental agreement, which I am not on. And like I said, he lives in my house without my permission.
Got it. Okay. Well,
and he also...
I can't really weigh in on the property issue there. I guess what about your posts? And let's just take it within the last 6 months, because that's really
my posts are just general posts, for one, about anything.
Go ahead.
I don't post any names about anybody, but they're general posts because what this man has done to me and my family and destroyed our lives, and it's cost me over $100,000 in attorney fees right now. But I don't want anything to do with him. Your Honor, he was in prison for 8 years for molesting both of his 12 and 14-year-old daughters. And you think he's afraid of me? He outweighs me by 75 pounds and has already put me in the hospital 2 times.
No, I get it. And I don't think it's the case here where he is saying, I mean, he has
There's
said
no
he's
reason
for his life, et cetera. But really what I think it's more about is this idea of electronic harassment and messaging.
He's coming up with stories, Your Honor, just to try to keep a PPO against me so I'm not allowed at my house anymore. They've already moved all of my stuff off the property, which there's a case going on about that too.
Sure,
there's going to be more lawsuits
with
him and his girlfriend, Angela, coming after the house is settled too.
And I know you don't communicate with Angela because I think I've granted her, at least in the past, a PPO.
Yeah, which is all a bunch of lies, and I proved them all wrong.
I'm not going to delve too far into that because I think we're still in the midst of a hearing on it. But have you posted his registration info on the internet before?
Absolutely, because he lives in my house without my permission.
Okay, so what you've done is you've cut and pasted, what I could find if I went onto the source site, his information and charges and reposted those?
I only do it 1 time a year, Your Honor, because he lives in my house. I don't do it all the time. Okay. People in the neighborhood need to be warned that a violent child molester lives in the neighborhood.
Well, don't disagree that people ought to be warned.
Especially living in my house.
You're saying you feel like, well, you're still a homeowner there because that is in your name and falls under your duty. So if I give you a pass on that one, what about the idea of, adding information to that, saying, for example, he's a raper of his cousins or daughters, or, more information is in the public post. What about that stuff?
I didn't post any of that stuff, so I don't know what he's talking about.
Okay, so that I wouldn't find that in the post.
I have been in contact with a cousin in Texas that he stole the camper from, and yes, he did. He sent his sister down there to beat her up.
Okay. Well, what about and I mean, he mentioned this criminal record, but you haven't said he has a criminal record in Texas.
No, I said he was wanted in Texas.
Wanted in Texas.
On the questioning of the rape of his cousin.
Okay. Now, and I mean, is that public information? Is there?
I believe so. I believe so. I've talked to his cousin. I think she filed charges. So,
and
I don't know. That was a couple years ago. So,
did you post it, Mr. Colby?
Not that I remember.
At this point, the case spirals into explosive personal accusations as the respondent claims he was violently assaulted and financially destroyed by the man seeking protection. The courtroom shifts from social media arguments to disturbing allegations involving family conflict, injuries, criminal history, and ongoing property disputes. Meanwhile, the judge keeps trying to pull the conversation back toward the legal standard for cyberstalking, carefully separating emotional claims from actual evidence that could justify a protective order.
Okay, so that I wouldn't find that on your posts anyways that I'm getting from here, and I can't look at those right now from Mr. Goins as to exactly
right, because they don't exist, Your Honor.
Okay, and I guess my last question for you at this time, Mr. Colby, is are you is someone one of your friends? Do you post stuff on there and then say you have them that you're aware of? They send it directly to him to kind of make sure he gets it in his inbox or something of that nature.
Absolutely not, Your Honor. I don't talk to people. I go to work every day at a respectable place and I come home. I don't really have any friends anymore because of the situation him and Angela have put me in right now. And I take care of my kids. He's the main reason why his girlfriend lost 100% custody of her son because he's not allowed to be around kids and she would rather have a child molester in her house than her own child.
Well, I can say, I don't know exactly how those decisions get made, but it's not the first time. So, yeah, and really none of that's here. I guess the key is that, these
Yeah.
messages of yours don't cross into that world of, cyber stalking or cyber
Absolutely not,
harassment.
Your Honor. He's just looking for a way to put a PPO out on me to keep disrupting my life and causing harm to me and my kids.
All right. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to deny the appeal at this time. I've heard testimony from both sides. The fundamental facts here are that Mr. Colby acknowledges he's reposted information from the SORA registry, however, has not, posted additional or supplemental information. And Mr. Goins, I know you dispute that, and unfortunately, I'm not able to look at those right now. I'm going to go back and revisit those postings. I will caution you,
Oh,
Mr. Colby, that it may, I don't know if there are cases out there on reposting. Of course, the SORA registry is public information, as are all convictions in the state of Michigan. And particularly the SORA registry is there specifically so that people, neighbors, people that live in adjacent areas can have a fair warning, and that someone who has this conviction in their background is in their neighborhood. And of course, it also has all the other requirements that it placed on Mr. Goins. However, I will note that it isn't, a license to have someone like Mr. Goins just be kind of the public punching bag out there where people can just post whatever they want about him on the internet. I think there is probably a fair question as to whether or not you can repost, on a more public forum, because undoubtedly Facebook is, more public, just kind of more generally accessed, less regulated than the SORA forum is, or the SORA listings are. And I guess most important to me, allow all that additional commenting or adding information or, whatever it might be in terms of that. So I'm going to deny it for the time being, with a cautionary note that,
Your Honor, may I speak real quick, please?
yeah, go ahead, Mr. Goins.
So he says that I can't, or that I attacked him the first time back in 2023.
Well, I don't want to go over that. That's
Hold
old
on a
history.
second, but Your Honor, well, hold on a minute. He brought it up. I at least want to put it on the record. He came here to my residence. Okay,
It's my
Yeah,
house.
but none of it's going to be. You're not.
that's the reason that
Yeah, Mr. Goins, I don't think you're asking for a protective order because you're afraid that Mr. Colby's.
Now comes the moment everyone was waiting for. The judge delivers his first major decision. While acknowledging that the online behavior may be questionable, he explains why the evidence still falls short of proving cyberstalking under the law. But even after denying the protective order, the tension refuses to disappear. Both sides continue interrupting with accusations, forcing the judge to warn them about how dangerous this conflict could become if emotions keep escalating outside the courtroom.
Going to walk over to your house and beat you to a pulp. I think it's more you're worried about him doing stuff online that harasses you. So I'm just trying to cut to the chase of what the case is about here. And that's what the basis for this thing is, and I would add to that, I am also cautious, in driving cases where people are following others in cars and things like that. Well, of course, the roadways and stuff, library parking lots and libraries themselves are public areas.
off to the side, Your Honor.
I get it. When you're out there, you are.
I was headed home from work, Your Honor. I seen him I don't even remember seeing him. So I drive to Cedar Springs every.
I will note that, the one thing I am cautious about is, that, I get these frequently, where so-and-so is, revving up behind me or, going into stuff that might be looking like road rage or threatening people with a vehicle. And of course, that would be very dangerous, not only for the two of you, but for anyone else who got caught between the two of you accidentally. So I would just be cautionary if you do encounter each other in public. you know, just go about your business, go the other way, because, you know, it can escalate to a dangerous situation where there's bad blood, and there's no doubt there's bad blood here. And until this all gets sorted out up in civil court up in Montcalm County, I'm sure there's probably going to continue to be bad blood. But I don't think this warrants a protective order at
So
this
I'm
time.
going to fill the case, Your Honor.
You're welcome to, Mr. Goins, and that would be directly to the Michigan Court of Appeals, my reviewers.
I'm going to definitely do that.
Very good. Good luck to you, sir.
Yep, absolutely.
And we are concluding. And this matter comes before the court today on the respondent's motion to terminate a personal protective order the court granted in favor of Ms. Castaneda. And I do see both parties here at this time. I'm going to ask both of you to state and spell your name for the record. We can begin with Ms. Castaneda.
Stephanie Castaneda, Stephanie Castaneda.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
And Ms. Lindy.
Olivia Lindy, Alivealindy.
All right, Ms. Lindy, you filed this. I granted the PPO, obviously, because this is a motion to terminate the order that I granted, and it was based on alleged posts on Facebook. So, I guess the one, you know, perhaps that jumps out most is this concern about you posting on Facebook about Ms. Castaneda's son being in Pine Rest. And it looks like, well, let me swear you in and I'll take your testimony on that.
Okay, sir.
If you would raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that your testimony today will be the truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir, I do.
All right, very good. And I take it you deny that you posted that on Facebook?
Correct, I did. I have the proof that I sent it to a Steve Smith that Stephanie sent to me privately through Facebook Messenger, that had reached out to me, that said to read Stephanie's messages, and I had Stephanie blocked.
Okay, well, and I mean, the question is more so, did you post anything independently yourself?
No, sir, I did not.
Okay, about her, and you knew the his son was in Pine Rest because of your communications with Stephanie's boyfriend, who's a Timothy?
Yes.
Okay, and what's your relationship with him?
We had an affair in 2024. They owe me money, court judgment from Wyoming that they haven't paid for. So I was still trying to get my payment from him, and he needed to secret hush hush so Stephanie didn't know. And then he and I started talking, communicating, and then we ended up sleeping together again.
Okay, that's a strange way to get into an affair with a former debtor, but nonetheless, okay. And I also see on here, my son has never once told anyone that Mason was suicidal at school. So you have a son that's around the same age, I take it?
Yes, my son is 2 or 3 years younger than hers. Her son is in 8th grade, mine's in 6th grade. So, I mean, they're in the same building. They don't have any passing time or anything to get together. I called the school the moment I got, the very next day when I was served Stephanie's PPO, to call up there to find out what was going on, because I hadn't received any phone calls from them saying that my son was starting any issues. And they told me that they hadn't even heard anything from Miss Castaneda or anything along those lines about anything that they were saying. I asked for a statement from the school, but they said that because it was a private matter that they wouldn't make a statement or anything unless it was court ordered.
Okay, and you've spoken to your son about this since that time?
Yes, I did the moment I got the PPO.
Okay, and what's your son's relationship with Mason?
They have no contact other than the bus that I know of.
Okay, all right, so they ride the bus together. I mean, because your response here says when Mason was in Pine Rest, my son asked where he was.
Yes, because they met at the bus stop, because Larry has younger siblings and so does Mason. So he would meet that for his younger siblings at the other bus stop where their younger siblings would get dropped off at.
I see.
And Stephanie and Timothy were both down there. And my son goes, well, where's Mason been lately?
Okay. All right. And
I would like to point out, sir, for the record, that my son Larry has been in Pine Rest for beating me up. So that's something I would not publicly post about, because I didn't even publicly post about my own son being in Pine Rest.
okay, yeah, that makes sense. What about this line? He says, I was asked to, oh, you were asked by private message on Facebook what all I knew about the family from Stephanie's cousin, Stephen Smith. And you told him about Mason being in Pine Rest, not a public post, but this is on Facebook Messenger.
Correct. Yep. And I have copies of those messages. And I also have messages between me and Steve Smith where I wrote, now they're trying to get me for harassment. And he wrote, how can they do that when you're not even talking to them?
Okay.
And I have it where they also said that they showed Stephanie the messages of what I knew of the family. And they said that Stephanie said that there wouldn't be an issue. And then I get served with this PPO.
All right. Well, I think I understand your side of the story now. Let me take, unless there's something else you think I ought to know, and I'll give you a chance to respond after Ms. Castaneda gives me her side of the story as well. Anything else I need to know before I turn to her?
Yes, I don't know if you were made aware a day before this PPO was put into place, there was, they called the police on me. And
No, I have no idea.
Okay, so that they used that same Facebook post, and that's when I found out that Timothy had a PPO against me from October that was never served to me. And they
Okay.
have been trying to put me in jail since then. And so that's, and I've even talked to the officer since then, and he said that the post that they were trying to show me, it was Officer Schellenbarger from the Wyoming PD. I talked to him. I have his personal phone number. He told me that the post that they were trying to show him, that he even told them that it was opinionated, that it wasn't even addressed to them or anything.
Okay. And you're saying the only thing you put on Facebook was this message in response to an inquiry.
Just when the first case ends, another dramatic neighbor dispute begins immediately. This time, the courtroom focuses on alleged Facebook messages involving private information about a child's mental health treatment. As the judge investigates, shocking details emerge about affairs, secret conversations, unpaid money judgments, police involvement, and anonymous online messages. What initially sounds like harassment suddenly becomes a complicated story involving rumors, neighborhood drama, and questions about whether private messages can legally justify a protective order.
From this Stephen Smith.
Yes.
Okay.
And that was a private message. Nothing about the children, nothing along the lines of that.
I thought you said during that message that you did tell Stephen Smith that you
Yes,
knew about
on
him.
Facebook
Yeah.
Messenger, not on like actual Facebook. I have those right here.
I see what you're saying. Okay. No, I understand. So it was a private message intended for Steve Smith. Do you know Steve?
No, I had no idea who that was. I even asked, my very first message to them was, you sent me this message. It went to my message request. I don't know who you are, so who are you? And it took all day for them to respond to me telling me that they were Stephanie's cousin.
Got it. Okay. And then once they did, then you gave them the information you had.
Yes. And then I would like to also point out that this isn't the first time that she's had people reach out to me. I have other proof to show numerous other people that she's had reach out to me saying all different sorts of stuff. And then she comes back with stuff like this.
All right. Well, let me swear in Ms. Castaneda and see what she has to say. Ms. Castaneda, if you'd raise your right hand, do you solemnly swear or affirm that your testimony today will be the truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Well, you have heard what Ms. Lindy has to say. First of all, I guess, was this post, was it a Facebook post? Was it a private message to someone else? What form is it in? I'm not a Facebook expert.
It was a private message, but I don't know with Stephen Smith. I don't have no cousin, no family, no friends named that. They reached out to me, letting me know that the neighbor, Olivia, was sending them messages about my family.
Okay, and so as far as you know, that Stephen Smith might be a neighbor of the two. Do you live in the same area?
There's
We live
one.
right next to each other.
Okay, and then there's Mr. Smith that may live in that area as well, and he just said, "Oh, I got this kind of unsolicited message."
I'm not sure because I don't know who it is. I don't have a Facebook friend named that or anything.
Kind of an ambiguous name too, Steve Smith. Okay,
Yeah,
so
right.
you're saying that that person reached out to you and said, "Hey, I got this message about your son from Miss Lindy." What did he say was the content of the message?
Just let me know that she was letting my personal business of my son being depressed and going to Pine Rest to other people that really don't have no business knowing that.
And I guess the next question is, if you don't know this guy, why do you even believe him?
Exactly. I mean, I don't know him.
Yeah, well, and then I question, because I mean that's the main basis of your, um, your protective order application here. Why should I trust what he said? It's kind of like third-hand information
Well,
from someone you don't know.
I would like to say that since the PPO has been in place, I feel much better with it in place. I don't feel like I'm being harassed. She takes her kids to another bus stop, so I don't have to see her. She does her business, drives by my house like she's supposed to, instead of trying to ramp stuff up, because it's an ongoing, all the time thing.
Well,
This is all because
what are
her
the
and
other bases? I don't have your original application in front of me here. Besides this posting, and I remember now that the posting about the Sun and Pine Rest jumped out at me. What other postings are you referring to?
Well, when I found out about her and my boyfriend having the affair, she went on Facebook publicly and let everybody know how pathetic I was for giving him another chance. I'm just stupid because it's been happening behind my back, just downgrading me for choices that them two made together. And I
A couple
feel
of
with
years ago, right?
no, sir, this was here recently. It's been going on for about 2 to 3 years, I suppose, on and off.
And what you're saying is she's making other posts. Do they say your name in them, Miss
It does
Castaneda?
not say the name, but I mean, everybody here in our neighborhood knows what has been going on.
Okay,
It's been an ongoing thing for 2 to 3 years. And since I've had the PPO these couple of months, I've had like, I don't feel as bombarded with everything. It feels like she does her own thing, leaves me alone.
well,
And I would
also trying to
like to
get a grip
continue.
on this, bombardment with information. I mean, and is it directed? Are you still with the Tim guy?
Man, we have children together. We've been together 10 years.
Okay, well, and how much of this stuff from Miss Lindy is directed at him versus what's directed at you?
You're right. It is directed at him too, which I don't care about. That's his business. But when it says she's so pathetic, taking him back, he loves me not, like just stuff like that she's publicly posting on Facebook.
When was the most recent of those posts?
Um, Probably right before she got the PPO.
Okay, and did you attach, well,
I
you got the
didn't. I
P
couldn't figure out
before,
how to
yeah,
get
you
it.
attached it to your application?
I did not.
You did not. It was mainly, or at least I remember from the application, what jumped out at me was the Pine Rest thing.
Yeah,
So,
because our sons do communicate. They communicate on the bus. That's how her son was asking Mason, "Oh, I heard you went to your uncle's." Mason's like, "Yeah." And then he told my son, "Well, my mom said you went to the same place I did, Pine Rest."
okay.
And my son goes too.
All right. Well, I mean, green just blanked out. I mean, there we go. So, I mean, the concern there is that, well, I mean, there is kind of a different issue because when they're between, school age kids, it's really the kid that ought to be getting a protective order. Sometimes it goes to the parent, but I mean, unless, he's saying my mom said you went to Pine Rest. That doesn't mean that's necessarily trying to get at you. It might be just
Right.
asking him the question, or it might be trying to, get a rise out of your son. But how's it directed at you?
It's not really directed at me, but my son had some issues going on at school, and I just didn't want to get around to the school. My son and her son, they haven't had no issues. Like my son's like, "Mom, I don't have no issues with him or whatever," which is great, thank God. I just feel like me having the PPO on her, it has stopped a lot of problems. She would yell over here and everything, and I would yell back at her. I just feel with this in place, it's keeping everything quiet.
Yeah, well, I get it, but I guess my thing is to justify a PPO, you have to fulfill very specific requirements, and one of them is 2 incidents of harassment. Now, yelling back and forth usually doesn't work because, well, if it's a two-way harassment,
Right, you're right.
then it's impossible for one of the people to say, well, they're harassing me, but I'm harassing them right back. I mean, unless the other person escalates it, if you're yelling back and forth and the other person waves a pistol at you, well, that's different, but that doesn't sound like what's going on here. And then the second part of that is, this posting on Facebook, it seems like that was kind of through a channel, an unknown channel, Mr. Steve Smith, who no one knows who it is, who asked, according at least to Miss Lindy, asked a question that she answered, thinking he, probably erroneously, was a relative of yours, and just wanted some sort of update, and then. Took upon himself to forward that information on to you, saying, "Well, she's spreading this information about you, like Mr. Smith's the meddler in this whole thing, not so much either of you two." So neither of those really are very good bases for a PPO in my, estimation, as trying to follow the law here. So I'm going to rule at this time that the PPO is terminated. I understand you feel better. Having it in place, I certainly would advise, giving each other space. That's what PPOs are intended to do. There is bad blood. It's out of, the relationship with Tim or whatever his name is. That's not going to go, he's going to be around. But, if the main beef is with him, well, if the two of you can avoid, getting in each other's faces or whatever, regarding that, then that would be best. And I know your kids are going to be best served if they think everything's just normal. Most kids are just trying to, when they're in high school, they're just trying to stay off the skyline. They don't want to do anything. And the last thing they want to do is have oh, my mom's the one going crazy out there, not me. So,
Right.
just for their sakes, if nothing else, just, keep the roof on and keep the wheels on the car here to get these kids through school.
Your
So
Your
I'll
Honor, may I
assume-
say something real
yeah,
fast?
go ahead.
I would just like to point out that she has threatened her older son Mason to come and beat up my son Larry over things, and I have the message right here from Stephen Smith where he says that it's her cousin.
Okay, all right. Well, I mean, I don't doubt it. Mr. Smith might have said that, but the fact is, no one here appears to know who this Stephen Smith is or what business he has in the middle of this case. So, I mean, he could say whatever he wants, and that's
Right. No,
that's
I
the trouble
understand, but
online
they
is,
sent
you
they
don't know.
sent me pictures and
Yeah.
screenshots of
Yeah,
what
it seems
Stephanie
like
sent.
it might be legitimate and that you might have a legit reason to answer that. And you weren't trying to post that out to the whole world. You were trying to respond to what you thought was a legit question. So I don't think that was targeted at Ms. Castaneda to be an act of harassment. I think to just take you at your testimony today that you thought he was a cousin and you were just honestly responding with information that you knew. So I'm going to terminate the PPO at this time. And like I say, let's try to keep the peace. It seems like the kids get along okay, and with kids that are getting treatment and stuff like that. I'm very sensitive to how much they need the treatment. Number one, when kids go to Pine Rest, it's not because they don't need to be there, it's because they do need to be there. And then number two is, but the last thing that any kid would want to do is go back to school and then be teased about it or something like that. Even us grown-ups don't want to be teased about going to Pine Rest when it's a kid in high school. So let's keep the privacy considerations for everyone at the front of our mind best we can.
Yes.
And with that, I'll sign an order either today or tomorrow terminating the PPO. And thank you both for showing up and testifying. You're both very polite and well conducted today. I have no doubt you can make this all work.
The final part becomes a careful breakdown of whether online gossip, neighborhood arguments, and secondhand messages actually qualify as harassment under the law. The judge challenges both sides repeatedly, pointing out weak evidence, unclear sources, and mutual hostility between everyone involved. In the end, the protective order is terminated, but the warning from the judge is crystal clear. Stop escalating the drama before it seriously affects the children caught in the middle of this chaos. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next video.